when Robert Blake was charged with his wife's murder. Robert Blake passed away on March 9, 2023. He was the face of the 1970s show, Beretta. He later stood trial for the murder of his wife. Blake inspired Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But his life was more of a horror story than a work of fiction. His father made him eat off the floor. He repeatedly beat and sexually assaulted him. His mother allowed all this to happen.
I always felt crazy,
Blake once admitted. His real name was Michael Gubitosi. He was born in 1933 into a troubled home. His parents already had 2 children. They had also terminated 2 pregnancies. However, they couldn't afford another abortion, so Blake was brought into a world of neglect. His father, Giacomo, aspired to a career in show business. In 1936, he formed the Little Hillbillies. The band featured Blake, his sister Giovanni, and his brother James. Blake's talents as a singer and dancer were undeniable, but he felt exploited, referring to himself as his father's monkey. In 1938, the family relocated to LA. They all secured work as extras on MGM's Our Gang. Blake eventually became the series' leading actor. He appeared in 40 of the shorts between 1939 and 1944. But this newfound success made matters worse. He became the primary breadwinner for the family. His father was jealous, which led to intolerable abuse. Giacomo would force his son to eat off the floor like a dog. He beat and sexually assaulted him. He made him consume castor oil until he vomited. Blake's mother stood by, allowing it to happen.
My father was crazy, but my mother was evil.
Robert Blake, at 14, he ran away from home. 3 years later, he was drafted into the U.S. Army. Blake returned to civilian life. At 21, he found himself with no employment opportunities. Depression led him to seek refuge in drugs. Blake became both a user and a dealer, but then he got into Jeff Corey's acting class. He was able to transform his life. Blake found purpose and success as a Hollywood actor. In 1967, he had his big break in the film In Cold Blood. Blake portrayed real-life killer Perry Smith. The movie received 2 Oscar nods. In the 1970s, Blake landed the series Beretta. He played Detective Anthony Beretta. Years later, he became involved in a real-life crime. Blake married Sandra Kerr in 1961. They had 2 children and divorced in 1983. In 1999, Blake met Bonnie Lee Backley. She had already been married 9 times. She was dating Christian Brando at the time. When she became pregnant, she claimed that he was the father, but the DNA test confirmed Blake's paternity. The couple married in 2000. In 2001, Blake took Backley out for dinner. She was found shot dead in their car. That same night, Blake claimed she'd been alive when he left. He was arrested. A year after the murder, he spent millions on his defense. The lack of forensic evidence led to his acquittal. Blake still lost a civil case and was ordered to pay $15 million. The actor filed for bankruptcy and fell into obscurity